Misfits. This is Heartbreak, and welcome to the first proper episode of Happy Heartbreak. After last week's intro, I think went rather well. Surprisingly enough, I didn't really think it would, but it did. So I just thought, let's start with a proper Happy Heartbreak, and let's do what I do best: talk about boys' love. Yay! So my first video I want to do is actually a little bit, it's a new series that I'm trying to start, which would be a monthly roundup, where at the end of every month or beginning of the month after, I look back at the month that has come before and just see what happened in our world boys love wise, and which shows were airing, are still airing, how did I like them, were they good, were they anything to recommend, and just really just look over the past month and just see what happened. If there are any major developments or news, I'm trying to include them as well. But I have to say, for January now, I really didn't find much other than tons and tons of actors having COVID again, which obviously worries me, and I hate the fact that our actors are actually getting sick. So all fingers crossed, and I'm so sorry that this even happened. And so other than that, I actually didn't really I looked through BLDA and just looked what happened this month, but it was actually not that much. So but this month I think I'm just going through all the shows that we have been watching. I actually have done research, I've done spreadsheet stuff. I'm professional here. Yes, I'm taking this very serious. So I'm going to look a little bit, because I actually found some quite interesting little facts and nuggets while I was doing this research. So I'm going to share what I found out while I'm going along, and before I'm just talking about nothing at all for 5-10 more minutes. Let's just get into January and what happened in January, what shows were brought to us, and what did make our heart go a little bit faster. And that's funny, because my name is Heart, so that actually means that it's making me go faster, which is not that wrong thinking about it, because I've actually started watching like a crazy person BL again. Literally like a crazy person. We have a new challenge on BLDA called A Year in Boy Loves Challenge, where we are writing down every month what we have watched, and then by the end of the month we are going to you're posting a blog just with everything that you have watched. Some people have included mangas that they have read, some have included novels, some are just looking for shows. It's really interesting to see what different people were starting to record. And I have to say, the first batch of January posts came actually out, and it's really interesting to see what people are watching. So, and I think let's start with a big one this month, which was on everyone's list really, who has been watching boys love in January, and that would be Bad Buddy, or as the Thai name is, Ke Puan Krap Puan. Yes, my Thai is really shit, but I really like that title. I think it sounds quite sweet. Puan is friend in Thai, so Ke Puan Krap Puan. And what can I say about it? The show ended this month, and I think it has pushed the standard for general boys love so far. I think with Bad Buddy, compared to other shows that we're getting currently, is that Bad Buddy is really working with the normal boys love concept that we are used to. We have two boys who are first in school, then at university. It's literally the typical boys love concept. So it's not really something majorly out there, I would say. But I think that it's so many things really, really right with that show. Casting Om and Nanon was definitely a stroke of genius, because Om obviously he has been in couples with different actors for quite some time now. He's really a seasoned pro. He started with boys love. His whole career started with boys love, and I think he literally at the moment he is the guy to be in a boys love, to make he is practically a guarantee that a show will be a hit. And Nanon, I think, was very clever to choose him, because people were really lusting about him starting starring in A Boy's Love like forever now. I think ever since The Edge of 17, My Dear Loser. I think My Dear Loser, Edge of 17, that way around. I think everyone was just like, oh God, Nanon, he needs to start A Boy's Love, and like really we need to have him star in something, and people were going crazy. And I think pairing him with who is like a seasoned Boy Love actor, like he's an amazing actor anyway. Like I really love Pawar. He's just, yeah, I think he can literally play anything. He can be the bad guy, he can be the cute one, he can be very loving and very charming and very seductive. So I think like he definitely was the right choice. Nanon being, I think, one of the best actors that GMM has in their cast, but him together with could actually teach Nanon a little bit about what Boys Love acting actually is like, because I think it is a little bit different from normal acting. I think just like tiny little things diverge from normal acting. So I think putting these two powerhouses of acting together in one show was just like, yeah. And then the other thing that they definitely did right for me with Bad Buddy was that they are avoiding pretty much any stereotype that you could think of. Like whenever something happened where you were just like, oh yeah, we have watched that 10,000 times already, like what the fuck, why do we need to have that again? They actually turned around and completely put everything on its head and just did something different. So that's something that I really, really enjoy in A Boy's Love, like in the storyline. So that was really, really cool. And I would definitely say that Buddy, for a traditional Boys Love concept, they have really set the bar. This is now the one to beat. I don't think that there is any like traditional Boys Love out there that has this level of professionalism, this level of acting, production, everything is just perfect. So yeah. And now I've rambled on for 5 minutes of Bad Buddy, which is not really good because we have a long list to go through. So maybe get something to drink, get a little bit chilly, lazy. Oh, and by the way, just because I can, I actually got so many very, very lovely comments from you guys about my tattoos. And actually, the one that I'm most proud of is obviously the one that I have here. And I thought I'd just show you the complete one, which is, it's Serenity from Sailor Moon. And I love this tattoo so much. And my whole arm is going to be in a galaxy in this form of a blue, grayish, greenish galaxy all down my arm. But thanks to COVID, not that quickly possible. So yeah, but hopefully you can see my arm growing over the next couple of years, months, God knows. And yeah, at one point I hope that everything up to my fingers is just completely one big galaxy. So yeah, I hope that one day that works out. But let's just move on to the next shows, because we have a lot to go through. So let's stay in Thailand, because it's a show that again has been airing for a while now. I think sometimes in November it started, or was it December? I'm not sure. I'm talking about Paint with Love, which is the new show from Singto. It's his first production outside of the whole safe haven of GMM, and I think everyone was very, very well surprised at one point, and as well like quite interested to see how things would work out. He is the lead in that show together with Tae, who was fought in the original Two Moons. Now, I have to say, I'm not the biggest fan of Tae. I think he has a quality of overacting that I don't like. But for the role that he is doing in Paint with Love, I think it works quite well. And I have to say, even though sometimes the storyline is a little bit over the top for me, like it's just too much at the moment. For example, I'm trying not to do like any major spoilers here, but please like bear in mind if I'm rambling on. I might just say something. So at the moment we have like Med being the whole time like oh yes, this and this, and oh no, this and this, and he can't just make up his mind. And it's just like he's so mean to him, then he sleeps with him, then he's mean to him, then he sleeps with him. And I just don't understand why people do that. It's just not a nice thing to do. It's just, ugh, I just don't like it. So yeah, the storyline is actually not too bad. I think it's an interesting concept. They have the worst like intro I've ever seen for Boys Love, and not because it's badly done, because it's actually really, really well done, but I just hate the music, I hate the drawings, I hate that it's a show where my beloved Singto is in, and that it has such a rubbish opener. But well, the rest of the show is actually not bad. I really like it. I have been following it. I love seeing Yard from Love by Chance as like really as a proper Boys Love role now, even though he's just a side couple with Yoon together. And I really like them together, I have to say. And Yard really shows that he is not just the comic relief actor that he usually is. He's not just this screamy, loud guy. He actually can be quite different as well. And it's quite a nice sight to see. And it really shows that he is a little bit more than a one-trick pony, I think. So that's good. And obviously for me, the best thing ever in this whole show, and I think that's why I actually like it, is that Meng Mum, who has played Yiwa in the whole Together With Me universe. And I think like Yiwa is the best character in a Boys Love, like a female character ever. I love her. She loves her friends. She is so fiercely protective of both Gon and Nok. And yeah, I just love her. And Meng Mum, I think, is a very, very awesome actress. And I really like watching her. And now here in Paint with Love, her together with Singto is like a dream come true. Like I would love watching more shows with these two together as a double act, because I just think they work perfectly well together. And Meng Mum definitely needs to be in more shows from us, because yeah, I just never can get sick of her and of the awesomeness that she is. She's just really, really perfect in my opinion. Okay, so 2 shows now and 12 minutes in. Let's see how this goes. Okay, the next one that I've been watching, I think, ever since December as well, or maybe even since November, I'm not 100% sure, is not He Is Mine. And it's a Pinoy show that has not really like the biggest budget behind it. And I have to say, the storyline, it has a very interesting setting. Like we have the rich guys on one hand, like very, very traditional. It's a little bit like an 80s show or 90s. Like it reminds me a little bit of Beverly Hills 91210. 91210. Sorry, in German it's Beverly Hills 90210. So I always have to like calculate. But yeah, like the setting is nice. We have like the rich boys, we have like the poor ones, and they're fighting with each other, and it could be really, really cool. The 2 leads have an amazing chemistry with each other, like house on fire. They are both really aggressive, very much in your face. Calix, I think, definitely has a very good heart. He cares so much for his family, for his sisters, and his mother is just like the worst person I've ever met. And yeah, he is really a good guy. So I'm missing a little bit of this getting together. So at the moment it's a little bit repetitive. The side couple, which would be Cairo and Hyun Mi, on the side, they are, yeah, how can you explain it? I like the 2 of them together. I think they have a very, very good chemistry with each other. I think Hyun Mi especially is like such a, he's very versatile. He's really I would be quite interested to see him in another role. But again, the storyline is not very clear. It's like a little bit muddy. You don't really know why these scenes got included, why these scenes are not included. Like it's a little bit, I don't know how to say it without sounding too mean, because I see what they're trying to do, and they're really doing a good job in trying to do it, but unfortunately the whole execution is not there where it would need to be like a proper contender, to be like a really good Boys Love. But I'm really interested to see what they're going to do with the show. I'm really interested to see how much like where they're going with these actors. I wouldn't mind seeing any of these actors in another show. So yeah, I'm just going to wait and see what's going to happen. It's an interesting one to follow. So next one, I'm trying to be a bit more quick, would be the show that actually stopped this month as well, like finished, would be Mr. Cinderella. That was a Boys Love that was brought to us from our favorite Boys Love production company. That name I unfortunately forgot, but they have done quite a few different Boys Love already. Like I've seen My Lavacious Boss from them, and that was really, really good as well. And the main actor who plays Young in Mr. Cinderella, he has been in a couple of different ones as well. But I have to say, the role as Young definitely is like, it's perfect for him. He's playing like a gangster from the streets and who is getting into fights and has still a heart of gold. And I fell in love with these, like with this storyline. And Kwa as well, like the doctor, he's a little bit too nice for his own good. He's just really sweet. He's just really nice. And yeah, I think it's a very interesting concept. It has the same issue as other not as big boys loves, like big productions. The storyline is a little bit mucky at some points. Like I would have wished it to be a little bit more clear cut, and I would have liked, I don't mind bringing hard-hitting topics into a show. Like in this case, for example, there is some domestic violence within same-sex relationship, which I think is awesome that they're bringing it into, and I think it's really important to really show this and discuss this, because it's a matter that's not getting talked about often enough. But unfortunately, yeah, in this case, it's just not what happened. So there's a little bit air to breathe on top, but it's a really good show. It's very enjoyable, and yeah, you just need to sometimes like close your eyes a little bit and just like, okay, that could have been a little bit better, but it doesn't take away from the enjoyment. So I really liked it. Okay, next one. Oh god, I'm so pissed with that show right now. So not a good start. Show that is running as well currently would be Gen Y season 2. I have to say I was a very, very big fan of Gen Y this first season, because I love Two Moons, the original one. Like I love Two Moons 2 as well, but for different reasons. But Two Moons, the original ones, I think Bat as Wayu is just like perfect. Kopta and Kimon as Kit and Ming, awesome. Not saying that the second generation wasn't awesome as well, but I really liked them. So Gen Y being pretty much the fan fiction version of what would have happened after Two Moons 1. So that's what we get with Gen Y. Gen Y season 1 I really enjoyed. It's like a typical over-the-top, completely irrational and not realistic at all boys love. But some of us really are there for that. Like I really, really like that. I have to say, like I'm a fan of all these old school stuff, and I don't mind. So yeah, I really enjoyed Gen Y season 1, and I really hope that they would make a season 2, because there were so many things still unanswered, and especially I like the biggest sucker ever for Pok Tong, and yeah, their story I think wasn't really resolved at the end of Gen Y season 1. So now in season 2 we see them together again, and for heaven's sake, the actor who plays Pok has like, I don't know what happened in between these two seasons, but it's pretty much like he looked like, oh yeah, that's okay, he's a good looking guy, and now you look at him and it's just like, what the fuck happened? Like how he's like really, really good looking these days, and his acting, oh god, it's so good. There's one scene that is really hard hitting. It's about Pok and Tong, and things come out that should have come out like a long time ago, and like yeah, but these scenes between these two are just so good, and I love the acting. You can see in Pok's face everything from anger to sadness to grief to lust, like everything in once. Like just you can see it flicker in his face, like one emotion after the other, and it's just like, wow, heavens, I never thought that he would be that good. I really think that the actor like who plays Pok definitely has a bright future in boys love if he chooses to do that. I think he definitely could be the next big thing. Just saying that because I like making prediction for the future. I'm often wrong, but yeah, I think he could definitely. I forgot his name unfortunately, and I have my research paper here. What is his name again? Let me check. Bank. The actor's name Off-Book is bang, and I definitely think he is like, wow, he is really, really awesome. I'm really surprised. So yeah, love season 2. I can't recommend it enough. If you love or like traditional Thai boys love in all its unrealistic gorgeousness, watch it. I'm literally, I'm not joking. It's a really good show. So the next one, our first Korean one on the list, yay! And that is Tinted with You. It was a short show that they showed on Viki, and ever since My Beautiful Men, I had to actually get like a freaking Viki subscription on top of all the other subscriptions that I have. But I have to say, I'm actually not disappointed. They put a lot of new content on there, and I'm very happy that I'm able to watch it. So Tinted with You was a Korean boys love, which had like, there was this boy and he through a painting fell into like the past, and he met there like the brother of the emperor, and yeah, he had to find a way back to his reality while still protecting the brother of the king. And it was just, yeah, I don't know. I think again, they had a very good idea, a very good concept. The actors, I really enjoyed all three of the actors who did the main jobs there. But for me, it was too short for what they tried to explain. I think it needed to be like a lot more in depth to make the whole storyline really smooth and to really explain why things happened. And then the other thing that I really found a bit, if you want to make a throuple out of 3 men in a boys love, you can. I don't mind that one bit. I actually would have been a lot happier if the outcome of this show would have been a throuple. So far, we don't know. We can just guess. Is it a couple? Is it a throuple? Are they just friends? Like, it's all very convoluted. I would have liked a lot more if they would have just said, yes, the 3 are together. They are going to take care of each other. They're going to protect each other. And I would have loved that. Why not be a little bit more progressive and just throw that out there? Why not? If the storyline gives it away practically like this one, why not? Just, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it would have been a very, very good one. This way, I think it's a good one. It's definitely worth watching. It doesn't have much episodes, so it's a nice little snack for in between. But as always with South Korean stuff, I have the complaint that they need to start doing proper shows, like proper length, please. I want proper episodes, not just 10, 11 minutes long ones. I want proper half an hour episodes. I want 6 or 12, and yes, that's what I want. Maybe someone hears me. Please, 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 please. I really want like proper South Korean boys love, not just these short tiny bits that are enough as like a little treat in between, but not really as a main course. They're nice entrees, but they're not a main course. I'm still waiting for a proper main course one. Just saying. Next one, it's another Pinoy one, and that is Rainbow Prince, and that is from the same company who brought us the, I don't know what to say about it, but they brought us My Day. I'm not sure if you know that show, but back then I always said it's pretty much as if Disney ate a boy love and then vomited straight away afterwards. Pretty much. And Rainbow Prince is completely the same. Like in My Day, I have to say again, the chemistry of the 2 main leads definitely saved a lot, and the skinship was awesome. And yeah, it had a lot of difficulties storyline wise, because they have always these, it's the same with Rainbow Prince again, they like to portray people as super rich and super influential, but then the way that they're portraying them is just a little bit like, it's just not enough. And the same now with Rainbow Prince. Rainbow Prince is actually a musical, which in itself would be quite an interesting concept and idea, I think. But it's so hard to pull off. There's a reason why there are no boy love musicals, because to make it look awesome, you really need to do it perfect. There's not space. There's literally no space for just one tiny mistake when it comes to musicals. It can go from it's fantastic to it's completely cringe in like that. So when it comes to musicals, definitely you need to do it perfect. And I have to say, my Rainbow Prince at the moment, not doing that. The singing is actually not too bad. I like the voice of the main guy, like it's really nice. But the dancing, the dancing is a little bit like high school production of cabaret, maybe. So yeah, that's definitely not something that I'm enjoying, unfortunately. But I'm going to continue with it because, well, yeah, you never know. It might surprise you. They had definitely their moments where they were shining and where they were really, really good. So maybe Rainbow Prince will surprise me again. So I'm going to continue. Next one, again, one of these extremely short South Korean entree dishes, as I like to call them from now on, and that would be Behind the Cut. Again, it finished already this month, and well, what can I say? Again, it's a very interesting concept. The storyline is very unique, very new. I really enjoyed that one because, like, I'm a sewer myself. Like, most of my clothes, actually not these ones, obviously, but for a long time, like, most of my clothes I made myself, and so it's awful. It's awesome to really see someone who's also like designing and like sewing, and see the sewing machine just like made me very happy. Like, yeah. So I like the concept of it, and I think having the third party with oh god, what is his name again? Just forget it. I don't know. It was a very interesting concept, but again, it was not enough time that was given. I think the show could have been, again, really, really awesome if they would have just given all parties more time to breathe and more time to show what they can do. Because the two main actors, like the leads, both of them, I really enjoyed their acting. Like, there's one scene where both of them, like, separately from each other, but both of them cry. And for me, a sign of a really good boys' love is if the crying gets me. Like, the crying needs to be not cringe, the crying needs to be like something that touches my soul somehow. So yeah, I know it sounds very esoteric. I'm very sorry. My boys' love taste is a lot. Just my taste, as I said. So yeah, and they both, the way that they cry, it was very touching, and you can see they're both very good actors. So I just wished it would have been longer and would have given a little bit more time to breathe. The storyline was good, but it got cut off at very important parts, I would say. So again, it's an entree, it's not a main dish. It could have been a fantastic main dish, but yeah. Unfortunately, we're still not getting that from South Korea, and well, we have to wait, I guess. Next one. I have no idea how to say it, so please be very, it's Japanese, and I can't, I am just going to say it. It might be wrong. And it's KX-Yaku. I'm not 100% sure if that's correct, but, well, this one is classic trope gangster police officer. I mean, every fanfic addict in the world loves this plot. And when I saw this coming out, I was just like, not sure if I'm going to like this. This just looks a little bit, I don't know. So I watched the first episode, and it was just like my jaw on the floor, because heavens, it's so good. At this point, I'm not even 100% sure if it's going to be boys' love or if it's just going to be a bromance, but oh fucking hell, I don't care, because it's awesome. It's like a really proper, awesome, good production. The production value is awesome. The sets they are in are very, very believable. The acting is, even from the side characters, it's chef's kiss. It's like, it's perfect. It's so perfect. The action scenes where they are doing like physical acting or physical work, it's just like, it's so believable. It's so good, and I'm just completely blown away. It's still airing. It's very hard to get the episodes, unfortunately, at the moment, but I can't recommend this show enough. It is just chef's kiss. It's so good. Right now, I would definitely say one of my favorites. I have a couple of favorites this month, but definitely KX-Yaku, very high up for me. Very high up. Well, next one. we're going back to Thailand, and that would be You Are My Sky. It is shown again on Viki, and it's a proper boys' love as we know it. It's about a university, it's about the sports department, and it has different storylines for three different couples. Three different couples. And I think it's actually really, really nice. Obviously, we just had Bad Buddy, who, as I said, the traditional boys' love standard just got raised like a lot higher. So You Are My Sky, definitely, it's a good one. But I can understand why people who have watched Bad Buddy are just like thinking like, we had that before and better. Yes, we did. But don't make the mistake to just not give this one a chance because of that reason. Because in its own right, yes, it's very classical in the way that they are approaching things, but it's really good. Like, I have to say, especially Tapfa and Thorn, the main couple, they've known each other for almost their entire life. They have been together for almost their entire life as like best friends and training buddies, and it's just really interesting to see how this whole dynamic that they had for most of their life is slowly changing and slowly falling into places that might have not been the way they were. And it's just really interesting to see. Again, the acting, I have to say, is very, very good. For most of the people who are actually in You Are My Sky are not people who have been acting in different shows yet. So they are all very new, and I enjoy what they're doing a lot. It is a classic Thai BL. I love classic Thai BL, so I'm enjoying it. I think it's really good. V and Dome are my personal favorite couple. I can't wait to see what's going to happen because it's going to be so angsty and there's going to be so much heartbreak, and yeah, I'm very happy about that. Next one, that one I was very surprised about. We're staying in Thailand from here on out because I'm a very big sucker for Thailand. So, next one, very surprised about that one, is There's Something in My Room. And again, let me just quickly check because the Thai name is really cute. Oh yeah, it's Pom Kapi Nai Hong, which means me and a ghost in my room. So I love Thai for this because it is just really, really descriptive. So the name is, me and a ghost in my room. And that's pretty much the plot of the entire show so far. And it's surprising, I have to say. I didn't really think that I would watch it, but then I saw the first episode and I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't think it would be that interesting. The main actor who plays Pat Plan, he hasn't been in loads and loads of stuff, so he's really green. And then we have Bob, who is played by Nat Supernat, who is from My Oxygen. Like, he has a bit more experience. And I love the fact that in My Oxygen, Nat was always like a little bit forced like to be this very quiet, gentle person. Like, that's for me, like, that's my complaint about My Oxygen anyway, because it just had one tone. It just like was gentle the entire time. There was no ups, no downs. It was just which is good sometimes, but just So now in There's Something in My Room, Nat gets pretty much, I'm not sure if you can call it carte blanche, but he gets time and space to really show what he can do. He's actually funny sometimes. You really feel sorry for him in some scenes. And yeah, it's nice to see that what he can do, and like for him to be able to show that. So that's one thing that I really like. The other thing that I found very surprising, I was thinking for a moment that it was a little bit like the usual stuff that we get with ghosts, like He's Coming to Me, where the ghost is just like very sweet and nice and everything's good. But this show actually has some jump scares and has some scenes where you really think like, what's going on? Like, the paranormal definitely is playing a bigger role in there, and it's not just about like praying to make stuff okay for a ghost to use, and it's really interesting. And the way that they're setting it up now, that Pat has to help Pop to somehow find his peace, so he's not going to end up as a lost ghost. It's very interesting, and there's so many questions still to answer, and I'm really at the edge of my seat. I'm going to watch it like continuously. And this one is actually one of the shows where I found something out during the research that made me quite surprised, I have to say. And that is that the director who is doing that one, his name is T. Bandit, or Bundit, I think. He's actually the director of Tarn-Type and lovely writer. So we have someone who really knows their shit, and we have someone who has produced already like 2 major hits. So I would definitely say there's something in my room. At the moment, it looks a little bit like a sleeper, but I think it could be really, really successful in the long run. So I would definitely say you can watch it on YouTube. Give it a try. It's really, really good. Like, it's really excellent. So I would definitely give it a try. Next one, again, something that I found like with a little nugget of information, would be My Ride. And I can't believe, not for anything in my life, I can't believe that this show is actually really coming out now. Like, I can remember me coming into the Asian boys love scene in 2018. So, or was it 2017? No, I think 2018. And yeah, back then it was already in planning that this show was going to be produced. But they have changed the actors again and again and again and again and again. And I would like to say not again, but again. Because it's ridiculous the amount of time that they have changed actually their cast. But saying that, they have actually quite a good cast together. The ones for Mork and Tawan, the 2 main ones, they are maybe not as they're not as seasoned, but they have June as Toy and Best as Bot, which June obviously we all know from YYY and now Paint with Love, and Best actually was the actor who played Runway in My Dream. So yeah, both of them very seasoned, very knowledgeable. So yeah, it's actually quite interesting. And the screenwriter for My Ride, now that's another interesting nugget, is actually Flug Therapat, which is the guy who played Watt in Sotus and who was in My Bromance. And he definitely knows his boy love shit because he has been around the whole circuit for a long time. So let's see how My Ride turns out. The first episode, I have to say, I really enjoyed, and I'm going to stick with it. So the next one is actually Physical Therapy. So now I have to admit something with Physical Therapy. I have seen the first episode, but I don't remember anything, which is not a good thing normally. So normally I would now sit here and just like, I've started it, but didn't like it. But after doing some research, I think I'm going to give it another shot, because I found 2 things out which really, really made my jaw again drop to the floor. Because the 2 directors of Physical Therapy are 2 people that we all know very, very well. The first one would be Peek Pimapon, which is actually one of the main actors from Make It Right. But yes, he is definitely one of the directors, which I find very interesting because, again, he has been around the block with the whole boy love circuit for a while, so he definitely knows his shit. And now it gets very, very interesting. The second director for Physical Therapy is actually Andy Rashid, and he has been the director or the assistant director to Lovesick 1 and 2, to Waterboy the movie, a lot better than the series, to Make It Right. I think that's why he knows Peak. And Cause You're My Boy for GMM. So again, a very seasoned pro in the whole field, and I think it would be very interesting to see what he's going to do with this thing. And together with Peak, I think it has potential. So I think I'm going to go back to the first episode of Physical Therapy and just give it another shot. Like, it's not that I disliked it. I don't think so because I can't remember anything. But it was very flat for the first episode. But then I'm not one who likes usually first episodes. I always think first episodes are just there to set the table, and it's just like, it's very boring usually. So yeah, but Physical Therapy, definitely going to give it a try. Definitely. So, with that said, and quite a long time filmed already, we're going to go to the last show, which at the moment I definitely think is the best boys love show out there, and I am so happy that I finally caught up with it and that now I can watch it live as it progresses, because heavens, it's so good. So the last one is from Thailand. It's again a GMM production, and I have to say, after Bad Buddy and this show, GMM definitely wrestled away the crown for best production company in the whole boil off sector back to them. They had I think GMM had a couple of years where they were a little bit not struggling, but they always had like a very laid back traditional view on boys love, where there would just be like one little and nothing much more. And that was okay for the time that it was, and it was really good for the time for the time. But then stuff like Together With Me came out, Tan Type, obviously, Love by Chance. And these shows, I think, slowly but surely like chipped away on the supremacy that was GMM for the longest time. So I think GMM literally sat back last year and just said like, okay, hold my beer. I'm going to show you little ones what I can do. And in my opinion, they definitely did that. And with, now I'm going to say it, Not Me, I'm still speechless. They definitely managed to get their supremacy back. For me, without a shadow of a doubt, the best boys love production company in the entire world. Yes, I'm saying entire world. Definitely is GMM. Not Me is obviously the new show from Op and Gan, and guys, I can't even begin to explain how good it is. It's a political show, so the love story is a little bit more on the back burner, but I have to say I don't mind it one bit, because what they've done is give Gunn a chance to really show what he can do acting wise. And I'm going to say it again, Gunn is the best boys love actor we have in the whole genre, in my opinion. The stuff that this little man can do, like, he's so tiny and so cute, but he can be so, like, with the switch of a button, he can be completely different. He can be so scary, and he doesn't care if he's acting ugly or anything. Like, yes, we all know how cute he can be, but no, he can be very, very harrowing and threatening and pretty much evil. So I'm enjoying the fact to see like Gunn really spreading his wings and just do what he does best. I'm just sitting in front of the television and just like, oh my freaking god, he is so good. And to add now to this, Off has grown so much. I mean, we have to look at this really a bit more closer. Gunn has been an actor since he was a child. He has been a child actor. He already has been very famous in Thailand for God knows how many years. He is a seasoned pro. And then we have Off, who actually started as a VJ, so as a video jockey, which is pretty much like the lowest form. Like, if you go in entertainment and you look at the pecking order, being a VJ is pretty much like the lowest that you can go, because VJs usually get casted because they look pretty and young girls or boys might like them, so that's why they get casted. But Off has done such a magical and awesome transformation over the years, and now in Not Me, it's like, for heaven's sake, he was already really good in Theory of Love. I think when they paired Off Gunn together, Off was the whole time playing catch up with Gunn, because Gunn was he was so much better in acting. And I think now we are finally at the point where Off is really, he is almost his equal, I would say. I love the way he's acting as Sean. I think it's literally heartbreaking when he cries or has like more serious scenes. It's just like I'm sitting there just, oh my freaking god, oh my freaking, it's just so good. And I can't believe really how far he has come. I'm feeling a little bit like a mother hen who can see her little duckling finally like flying away, because he's so good. Like literally, I'm really, really impressed. I always had a soft spot for Off anyway, because I think he's hilarious. He has such a comedic talent, and that's not something to snuff about as well. Like being funny on cue is definitely one of the hardest things possible, and he's so good in it. It's mind blowing. But now he actually has really gone on with his more serious side and has, watched more serious, has acted in more serious roles, and I'm just so in love. Then with Not Me, we have the side couples on top of it. I love York and Dan together as a side couple. If we get, because at this point we don't know yet, if we get Graham and Black as then Gunn and Morn together as a couple, I might just die out of sheer excitement, and I don't know, because that would be the first time in a long time that we see Gunn paired with another guy than Off. We had Op with the Blue Hour, and up to now Off still is like, don't like him, go out of the picture, which is quite cute. But it would be very interesting to see what happens if another GMM actor gets paired up with Gunn, even though it wouldn't be like really Gunn, as like he's a twin in that show, but you know what I mean. It will be interesting to see. I'm not against it, I have to say. I would love to see Black and Graham together as a couple. I think they would be, from the storyline wise, it fits. It would definitely go with the narrative, and yeah. But this entire show, it just leaves me like hanging with so many questions. Every episode that I watch it makes me think a lot about things. In the last episode, we had one scene where they were fighting for equal rights when it comes to marriage. So they were fighting for gay marriage. And these scenes were heartbreakingly good, because what they did was actually they filmed during a real protest. So this protest was not staged, it was a real protest, and they used it to film. And that is just, the scene is just so, it just hits you so much in the feels. It's perfect. So yeah, I would definitely say if you watch this month one show, Not Me. There's no question about it. If from all the shows that I've told you today about, definitely Not Me. The other show that you definitely would have to watch, in my humble opinion, if you are a hardcore Boys Love fan, is Bad Buddy, because for years to come, everything is going to be compared with Bad Buddy when it comes to traditional Boys Love content. It's going to be literally the next. Yeah, it's the next one to beat. So this was for a long time the next to beat. And now definitely Bad Buddy. I think we have nothing. Yeah, Tarn Type now was the next one to beat, I think, for quite some time. But I think Bad Buddy has beaten Tarn Type. Yeah, I would personally, it's all my personal taste. God knows your taste might be completely different, but yeah. So I would say in general, we had a very good January. I think it could have been a lot worse. And there's a lot more coming out now as well during this month, or has already started. But since we're already like God knows how long in, I'm going to stop here and just like, yeah, we can do it in another video maybe. Then obviously most of them, the new ones, are going to be discussed then at the end of February, so I think it's not that bad. And we actually discussed a lot today. I think we discussed 14 shows, so I would think we were very good. Let me just recap the whole month. I would say January was, Boys Love wise, awesome. January was reality wise utter shit, I think. With everything happening in the entire world, and the political situation it's not pleasant, but we have our pink bubble that is keeping us safe, that is keeping us sane, where we can all be together and just watch lovely, lovely love stories and just, yeah, be happy while watching them. So I think this month definitely brought out a lot of very good shows. There's a lot of shows that I would definitely recommend you watch if you haven't given it a try. The ones that at the moment that are running, that I would say are very good, definitely not me. If you like very traditional, unrealistic boys love, Gen Y season 2, you can watch season 1 as well, and then just together. It's really good. Kimon and Kopta in itself are worth just watching the whole thing. The rest is just nice extra, but Kim and Kop together, perfect. And the other one that I would definitely say, the other two ones I would definitely say, and it actually, no, three ones. But you can see I'm very much the Thai boy love addict. Like Thai boys love is definitely my main thing. So the two other shows from Thailand would be You're My Sky. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how the whole thing develops. It's a very nice show. It's a bit different in some areas. It's quite similar to other shows that we had in other areas, but definitely good. There's something in my room. If you're not too against jump scares and a little bit of horror theme, but just a tiny bit, I would say, watch it. It's really good so far, and I think we will be surprised by the whole storyline as it unfolds, because I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of back and forth and a lot of curveballs that they're going to throw to us. And obviously the other show that I would definitely recommend you watch, even though we don't know yet if it's boys love, but still, KX Yaku, the Japanese series, just out. Watch it, do yourself a favor, because it's literally it's like heaven. It's so good. So yeah, I would definitely say these ones are the one to watch for this month. The rest are all nice and definitely watchable, but they would be the ones that I would say are the coolest at the moment. And as you can hear, my voice is giving away. I think this is a sign for me to just stop recording now. But I have to say, first of all, thank you so much for all the lovely comments last time I uploaded. I'm going to try to upload every week at least one video. I can't 100% promise, because one of the things is that I actually have a chronic illness, and therefore I sometimes can't leave my bed, and I'm not going to film in my bed. So yeah, but the plan is that I upload once a week. Next week I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do. Maybe you can help me out with that. I'm still thinking about doing a story time, maybe about all the boys love that came before. Do a story time about my time in the international daily soap boys love world. Or the other thing that I would be interested in doing would be just a short and simple and not an hour-long video about doing a review of one show and just really look into it in more detail and literally just analyzing it to death. So these two options we have: story time about all the boys love that came before. I really like the title already. Or a review of one boys love that I still have to think about, but most likely I think it's going to be Beautiful Man, because I'm just very obsessed. So yeah, before this video is now turning even longer and I'm actually sure that I have lost 90% of the people listening or watching in between, let me just stop here. But yeah, thank you so much for the follows, thank you so much for the likes, thank you so much for all the comments. You really made my day and actually my entire week. So yeah, thank you so much for all this, and hopefully we're going to see each other soon. And yeah, bye bye my lovelies.